Welcome back to the channel, boys. Fat coming at your neck with this 100 strength sealed ahamkara grass build. Now with this build, I'm focusing more on the gunplay side of Destiny. I typically make builds that are around ability spam or super spam, so I figured I would switch it up and try and make a build that's heavily focused on the guns. I'm going to be taking advantage of some Warmind cells by using the 7 Series SMG, as well as an exotic that allows me to reload my currently equipped weapon by landing melee attacks. So let's go ahead and break it down. Now of course we're using the Revenant Hunter subclass. It's like the only one that I'm really having fun with at the moment. We're using the Gambler's Dodge so I can refresh my melee attack whenever I'm near enemies. We're using the Dustfield Grenade. Of course, we got our 2 aspects right here. And then our 2 fragments are Whisper of Durance, so my abilities do last longer, mainly my Dustfield Grenade and the Slow, I believe it lasts longer. So whenever I land a Withering Blade, if it hits the enemies and doesn't kill them, the Slow will last longer from that as well. Plus this is giving me plus 10 in strength. And then we're using Whisper of Hedrons. And the main reason I'm using this is because the 7 Series SMG does not have a damage buff perk, something like a rampage, kill clip, multi-kill clip in that sort. So I need to get a damage buff from somehow. So I'm using Whisper of Hedrons. Whenever I freeze a target, I get a weapon damage buff, lasts for like 10 seconds. Does take away 10 strength, so these two like negate each other. The plus 10 here, the minus 10 here. So whenever I can practice, it feels really nice. I mean, it does have Dragonfly, my raw is Dragonfly, so it'll make up for not having a damage perk, but still having this is always nice. Now, by the time you're seeing this, it'll be a completely different Nightfall, but for when I recorded the gameplay, it was the Disgrace Nightfall, so I needed a sniper of some sorts. We're using the Succession with no distractions recombination. We got a 7 Series SMG, I needed anti-barrier, so I'm using this one, plus it generates Warmind cells. And then we got the Lament, because Lament is ridiculous and is really good in this Nightfall. Actually, it does really good damage to the boss at the end. My stats are as followed. We got 55 mobility. My dodge is on a 24-second cooldown. We got 31 resilience. We got 57 recovery. It's actually really nice. I didn't even notice that. We got 33 discipline, 27 strength. These are actually really low, damn. And then we got 102 strength. Now my main focus on this is to use my melee so I can reload my weapon, not necessarily to proc anything else or to use that as a slaying option. So I have this as 100, so that way I can reload my weapon whenever I need to. Plus it does slow down the enemy, so that's always nice. So let's start with the helmet. We're using a minor discipline mod. We got sword ammo finder, sniper ammo finder, and taking charge, so I can become charged with light by picking up an orb of power. I'm using a masterwork SMG, plus my teammates whenever they generate orbs of power. Onto my arms, which happen to also be my exotic armor piece of choice. We're using sealed ahamkara grass. I rarely see this one, I rarely use it myself. The armor perk that comes on it is rather simple. Dealing melee damage reloads your currently equipped weapon. And I did test it, you cannot spam it, like you cannot shoot, punch, get your reload off or anything. I think there's a small little cooldown, but still it's not that long. So whenever I do use my melee attack, as long as it lands and does damage, does not have to kill, my weapon will become reloaded, or the one I have in my hands will become reloaded. We're also using a strength mod. We got submachine gun loader for those times that I am not able to land a melee attack. We got anti-barrier submachine gun, and we have global reach, so that my Warmind cells affect a greater distance. On my chest piece, we're using a mobility mod. We got double concussive dampeners, and honestly, in my opinion, this is a must-have for the Disgrace Nightfall, because there's so many hive boomers and wizards and ogres, and they all do AoE attack damage. So for me, this is a must-have. We're able to tank some of that damage, take a few shots. And then we're using Power of Rasputin. You gain a bonus to weapon damage against enemies that are near Warmind cells. So with this build, I'm not necessarily focusing on destroying the Warmind cells, just having them as a way to buff me and my teammates' weapon damage. So I really was like having a fun time. Not just like, when you think of Warmind cell build, you think of just blowing it up, clearing ads, and I can still do that. There's still certain times where I would blow them up, but when there's times that I wasn't able to either get shoot it down and blow it up, or they were just there and it buffed up my weapons, my teammates' weapons and stuff like that, so I was able to add clear very nicely. Plus my gun does have Dragonfly, so I'm able to clear ads with that. On my legs, we got a minor mobility mod. We got sword ammo scavenger, we got sniper rifle ammo scavenger, and then we got radiant light. Casting your super causes nearby ads to become charged with light, but I'm mainly using this so I can get that plus 20 strength. This is what's allowing me to get that 100 strength stat. And on my hunter cloak, we got a minor mobility mod. We got outreach, reduces melee cooldown when using your class ability. And then we got heavy handed. While charged with light, regain half of your melee energy when you are using a charged melee attack, consuming 1 stack of charged with light. I'm not really using it for that secondary perk, but that's always a nice benefit while surrounded by multiple combatants. Defeating a combatant with a fusion rifle, shotgun, sidearm, or SMG adds ammo for that weapon to your reserves. I absolutely love heavy handed. It's probably one of my favorite charged with light mods because I like using my melee abilities a lot, especially on these new stasis subclasses. I love the melee attacks from all of them, so I've been using heavy handed a lot. So So this build is like a mixture of Warmind cells and Charge of Light, and I think I fuse them together pretty well. They work very nicely. I'm reloading by using my melee. I get heavy-handed. I have some Warmind cells out. It's just a nice mixture of everything. And here is my Hunter fashion. I'm using a couple pieces from the Deepstone Crypt. I have the armor set from there, and it looks really nice. I like the holograms here, the holograms there. I went with the purple dots here. I don't have the helmet equipped for it, but I figured I kind of went with like a robotic look. The sealed ahamkara grass don't go with it, they're bones, but I think I made it look as good as it can possibly get. Let me know what you guys think. Shaders will be in the description below. Prior to this build, I had never really made a Warmind cell build or any build that's focused around it. I've only really used global reach, and really that's all you really need for the Warmind cells, because global reach makes it so much bigger of a radius, but making a build around it is fun as well. And utilizing Power of Rasputin, this is the first time I ever used it. I didn't play Season of the Worthy because it was more of a Trials focused, PvP focused season, and I'm not a PvP player, so I just simply didn't really play it. But now looking back on it, I should have gotten all of those Warmind cell mods. The only one I'm missing, I think, is Wrath of Rasputin, so hopefully Banshee sells it or there's some way to acquire it, because I need that. But for the most part, I think I have a good amount of them, and Power of Rasputin is a really good mod to have. That 10% debuff, I think it's 10% debuff, is extremely powerful, and it stacks with pretty much every other debuff in the game. So you have Power of Rasputin, and then you have like a tether, or if you have Weapons of Light, that's a crazy amount of damage you're going to do to any enemy nearby, and it's awesome. It makes any gun feel good, especially guns that don't have a damage buff. Like I said, my 7 Seraph SMG doesn't have Rampage, Kill Clip, or any of those type of damage perks. It has Dragonfly, which is nice. Add on the Power of Rasputin plus the Whisper of Hedron's buff, it can make that weapon shred. Now imagine if I was using a gun with Kill Clip and Rampage, that would be just disgusting. Another thing that I really liked about having Global Reach and Power of Rasputin on is that whenever there was a Warmind cell that spawned, I had a decision to make, whether to leave it out and get that debuff, or to blow it up and clear all the ads. If I was getting overwhelmed, I would just blow it up, but if there was a few ads I can take care of, wanting to use my gun a little bit more, I would leave the Warmind cell out. And especially if there was a bigger target like a champion or a knight or something like that, having that debuff was amazing. I almost forgot to mention the fact that since this build is a gunplay focused build, I was able to always have my stacks of Charge of Light, meaning that once I used both of my melee charges, I just had to get the half of the first one back because it consumed, it consumed it for heavy-handed, and there you go. Once I get that half back, I have another melee attack, and it felt great. And especially since I was using Gambler's Dodge, I could just dodge near enemies and get another melee charge. So pretty much I was always able to take advantage of heavy-handed, meaning that I was able to take advantage of the perk that Sealed ahamkara's grass gave me, meaning that whenever I landed a melee attack, I would just reload my gun, and it was awesome. I rarely had to reload, and I loved it. This build is definitely a fun one. If you like builds that are focused around gunplay, or if you just like the gunplay of Destiny, I highly recommend this one, and especially if you're a hunter main, use this. I feel like I never see any hunters using Sealed ahamkara's grass, so definitely pull them out of your vault, or if you don't have them, go get them, because you just might like it. This build is extremely fun, and mailing to reload is an extremely powerful perk anyway. So go ahead and try it out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and hope you guys enjoyed. But if you guys like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps me out a lot. You can also check out my other videos. Links are in the description below. I have a lot of crazy builds, so go ahead and check that out. And you might as well follow my social media. I have a Twitter and an Instagram, both at @fat_Bloonskis. But with all that being said, deuces.